you all to stand up and give a great Passaic welcome to Mayor Margie Semler.
Thank you, everyone. I am really so proud to be here because we have to make a change in Passaic. And I want to tell you, if we don't do it this time, we're in a lot more trouble than we think we are. I'd like to start by saying good evening to everyone. And please excuse me if I am using a written article to read from, because I spent all day writing it, so you might as well listen. I think what I have to say is so important. I would appreciate it if everybody would please listen, because we are going to need your help in this next election. And if you're not listening, you won't know what some of the problems are, and you're certainly not going to be concentrating on what still has to be done. So let me get started. Here we are, a room full of people united with one goal in mind, and that is to support and elect Jose Sandoval as the next mayor of Passaic. All of Passaic, not just one part of it. What I find as the disturbing problem that Passaic voters face this election is not that Alex Blanco, the current holder of the title as listed on the ballot, but that it is common knowledge that the man who really runs the city is Council President / Assemblyman Gary Scher. That means a vote for Blanco is the same as a vote for Scher. Is that what the city wants again? No! What Passaic needs is a new mayor, a man who can think for himself, a man with the ability and intelligence for running this great city without having someone pulling his strings. That man is Jose Sandoval. Blanco is quoted, may I have your attention in the back, please? I'd appreciate it. Blanco is quoted in the newspapers as saying that he thinks, and I quote, he says the city has accomplished a lot in the last 4 years, that things are under control again, that honesty and leadership has been restored to local government, unquote. I don't know where he is looking, but let me tell you just a few of the things that I see. I see a city with hundreds of laws on the books that are not being enforced. Thereby, we are losing revenue. And if these laws are being done, it is done selectively, depending on who or what the situation is. It determines who gets punished and who gets bypassed. One of the major areas has to do with zoning and housing. And this is a very serious spot that needs full investigation. What else do I see? I see a city where its employees work under a cloud of fear and intimidation. If they are not considered to be on the mayor's team, there can be repercussions. For the many fundraisers and birthday parties that both Blanco and Scher hold, don't forget, Scher also runs for the assembly, employees feel obligated to buy tickets and to attend. Several of them also go even further. They go out into the community to sell tickets and ads to journals, all of which winds up as perks and favors for them during and for future employment. Businesses and property owners who do not respond favorably when approached are subject to sudden inspections and violations being issued. Naturally, contributors with known violations get overlooked. What a surprise. What else do I see? I see a police department where manpower has been slashed. 9 new officers were recently hired. That's good. What was not reported is that they are merely replacements for upcoming retirements and disability losses. Therefore, this did not actually increase an understaffed department. What else do I see? This is also having to do with the police department. How about that questionable move to do away with the position of police chief, as well as the fire chief, to be replaced with a public safety director? If this is such a vital need, why the delay and not fill the position immediately? I think 3 months to date so far is a long time. Why wait the time required, which would be 6 months, to bring back a favored employee for rehiring? We know one has already been selected, but of course, simply say, with each passing day, new circumstances can change that. What else do I see? Once more about the police department. The Blanco Share team have been holding back with a new contract that expired last year for the men in the department. Should come as no surprise with the election right around the corner that a new contract is now forthcoming. How convenient the timing when these employees will be expected to give support to the current administration. Typical. What else do I see? I see that the claim of austerity by Blanco Share in the city's budget is what has kept the tax rate to where it is. At least they claim it is. It is still one of the highest in the county, if not the highest. But what I also see is where the rate could have been lower. How come there's always money for raises and title changes for a few of the privileged who work for that city? Why are certain city employees still permitted to take city cars home? The costs for maintenance and insurance of those vehicles are reflected in our tax bills. Why are those perks not listed as a form of income for IRS purposes by the city? What else do I see? I see that there are still employees on payroll, despite their titles, with no specific jobs to do, while other departments are short of qualified help. What else do I see? I see an administration that claims to have an open door policy, but obviously that doesn't apply to city personnel, department heads, or directors. A memo from the administration sent to all departments limits the time or times that these individuals have access to bring problems or discussion to the top level of city government. What happens between those openings? I have also received complaints from the public that Blanco does not return phone calls. That is sad. What else do I see? I see that some of the Open Public Request Act information requested for that do not get replied to, depending on the information sought, in a timely fashion. The law calls for the response to be within 7 business days. Sometimes those requests are not even responded to at all. That's against the law. I could go on and on with many more of these, as I know everybody here also has their own individual thoughts about what's wrong with Passaic. But here's my last one of what I do see. I see the city has been throwing away good tax dollars for the last 12 years, which was even before Blanco, but not before Cher. And under his watchful eye, he's the real mayor, by hiring a public relations firm. The need for a city spokesman is a waste of money. This spokesperson is quoted more in the paper than Blanco is. Does that make him a mayor too? This spokesperson appears to have all the answers when the media, when the newspaper reporters call. Enough of the complaints. Now let's talk about getting Jose Sandoval elected. The bottom line in getting the biggest number of people out to vote. It boils down to numbers. And those numbers are represented by the people who walk into the voting booth and press the lever for this man. That is the job ahead of us. It won't be easy, but let me tell you, it is not impossible. It can be done. And only the people who really care about what's going to happen for Passaic can get it done. Jose Sandoval has the vision for improving Passaic and lessening many of its problems. He has the strength, he has the courage, and he has the ability to get things done. I believe in him. Together, we can all do this. What do you say?
Thank you, Mayor Semler. Let's have another big round of applause for Margie Semler.